My name's Ron Hargreaves. I'm a PhD chemist, and I started my career in the pharmaceutical industry with Lederle Laboratories in Pearl River, New York, which is not very far from where I am now, in 1974. Um, I was working in the mass spec lab, which was part of the spectroscopy group, and that group provided a service to all of the chemists in Building 65. There were about 50 chemists in that building, one of whom was Chad Murdoch, who synthesized bisantrene and mitoxantrone while I was working in the mass spec lab. So I got to know Chad fairly well. He was a very good scientist. Later on, when I was working for Lederle, I moved into regulatory affairs and actually stayed in the area of regulatory affairs for the rest of my career. Altogether, I worked in pharmaceutical research for 37 years before I retired. I've been retired for 11 years now. Well, Lederle had a history in cancer research, going back to methotrexate, actually in the 1940s, way before my time. But yes, we were interested in chemotherapy for many years, and chemotherapy really started to grow in, I don't know, 60s or the 70s. With adriamycin, very many compounds similar to adriamycin. And I think it was that inspired Chad Murdoch and others to start synthesizing what they hoped would be better than adriamycin and all the other anthracycline anti-cancer compounds. Well, at that time, we had quite a number of potential products in the pipeline. There'd been a big hiring increase around the time I joined the company. And that resulted in a lot of leads. One of them was mitoxantrone, and there were other things too. And I assume that the decision was made to stay with mitoxantrone, or to put the priority on mitoxantrone rather than have two oncology products. We did get approval for Bisantrene in France, but it was never marketed. And again, I assume manufacturing decided that it was not worth the effort to, I don't know, maybe build a new plant or add to our existing capacity for one product in one country. Again, I don't know what the forecast was, but I would think that the forecast for one country was not sufficient to justify either expanding our existing manufacturing plants or build a new one. Well, I have no reason to believe that had things been different, Bisantrene would have continued development. And again, since race oncology now has some promising results, I see no reason why further work shouldn't be done. We always knew that it's an interesting compound. And I hope that race oncology continues with the development. It would be very, very nice to see, and there certainly is a need for new oncology agents.